Right. Yeah, it's me again. Full of yeah. So I'm back on the topic of the Steve Hulte Ghost box. Okay. If you've heard my session, I think I recorded and broadcasted one, two, three. I think about three. Let me check. I can't remember how many sessions let me check. Yeah, I think about one on the 14th of March, and then part two, and then part three. Yeah, so I did three recording sessions. Okay, so let's recap back to my first recording session, which was 4 days before the 3rd of March, which I decided to actually finally record. Okay, let's go back to my first recording session from my experience, and I am telling you the truth. I am not lying because I don't see any point in lying or trying to fool myself here. Okay, and it's up to you to believe me or not. And I am just doing this for my own experience as an evidence for me to listen back and tell you and share my experience. Okay, so let's go back to 4 days when I first started using the Ghost Box. Okay, so what I did was I just pressed play. I kept quiet. Okay, I kept quiet. So yeah, the radio station was it was scanning and scanning and scanning and scanning and scanning and scanning. And in my head, before I even said anything, right? In my head, I was thinking of Chris Cornell. I was just thinking of him. I see a picture of him in my head, just with his guitars, and he's singing peacefully and everything. And then suddenly his voice just came out. And I was like, okay. And then I decided to follow the instructions on the website. It said that you can actually ask anything you want, and that this is actually an experiment where uh, you can go to the web page that I have already mentioned in my broadcast. Okay, so I asked, Chris, is that you and everything? Yeah, and then suddenly he replied. Okay, so back to my first session. Okay, if you listen back to my three sessions, right? This is how it goes. Like when it comes to EVP, you have to listen to it over and over and over again to pick out the things that you missed out. But in this case, I already knew what I missed out. I just didn't tell you what I actually did during my first session. Okay, so my first session was I was in a good mood. I was in a good mood. I'm not like other paranormal investigators you see on TV. They talk on the EVP, and then they get freaky, and then they ask stupid questions like, "Is there anyone killed here, murder here?" Come on, man. It's like for me, I'm not gonna ask those kind of things, man. If you already know that happened, why would you wanna ask about all that? If you wanna talk to if there really are spirits out there, still stuck on a plane somewhere, don't ask those questions, just talk like a friend, or be funny. Or that's my style, that's my way of talking, sing songs that they know or they like, and if you hear them laugh, or if you hear them say something good or what, and they are happy, and it's all good. I mean, I'm not gonna ask did anyone die here? Something did anything to anyone? Or come on, man. I'm sure they themselves wouldn't want to reveal that information. You know what? You know what I'm saying? If that really took place or whatsoever, why would you want to find out? That is not your authority, or in any way that's not my style. My way is like I just want to have fun and be funny. That's all. So yeah, back to my first session. I remembered I sang Queen, Freddie Mercury, Bohemian Rhapsody because some female voice like hello, female voices like hello, like it's very angelic, very angelic. It seems like Steve Holte's frequency is like um there's like angels or sirens, man, in his environment, or maybe in my environment, because I'm sure Hulte probably has said prayers, and before he decides to embark on this project, I'm sure he has done his part in trying to cleanse the trap spirits or whatsoever. There's actually a documentary on YouTube. It's called Haunted EVP stuff. Half is in the HUFF. This guy called Half Hulte, Nikki, and the other guy. They are in the same team. These are the guys who are currently experimenting with the EVP meters, and yeah, I saw them doing this EVP meter using an amplifier with a reverb guitar effect and a radio frequency scanning device, and they did what Hulte did. They jacked out they jacked up the scanning, and so it's like it scans rapidly, like, but it scans in reverse. And they have a few other equipments, and yeah, they went to this island, and where there's supposed to be like a haunted World War One or World War. Oh, it was during the colonial times where there were a lot of like dead Indians, and I think that was during the Civil War era. Yeah, it's a good documentary. You should, if you are interested, you can watch that documentary. But what they did was, after they've spoken to the spirit, and everything, and then they asked the spirit, "Do you want to move on?" And then the spirit would reply, "Go away," or yes or no, or something like that. But and then this is on YouTube, recorded. It's supposed to be on like TV material stuff. So yeah, they did the prayers and everything. They recited some Bible prayers like the holy light, come to the light, sort of like trying to call the spirit to like move on or something like that. So yeah, I believe before Hulte embarked on this project, I'm sure he has he wouldn't want he himself to be disturbed or haunted in his dreams or nightmares and everything. I'm sure he has done his part in trying to like protect himself from anything on his side. But and as for me, I so far nothing has really happened to me. Since my last session, I heard someone said, go to the woods and ride your pony. And the next day, I actually went to this park in my place. This park is called Fort Canning Park. It's actually called the Armenian Hill by right. Yeah, it's surrounded by tombstones of Scottish and Irish descendants who came to my country back in the 1918, 1916, or 1914, even before, long time ago. And we didn't fight them like the natives did in America. We instead we welcomed them, and that garden, right, is yeah, that park. Actually, a lot of bands have came here and played. Bands like Deftones came here and played. You can go back since now till the 90s. Halloween came here and played. Smashing Pumpkins came here and played. Nine Inch Nails came here and played in that garden. Okay, so yeah, there are reports or there are hauntings of soldiers, Japanese World War II soldiers walking around in the place because that garden was actually a fortress. That garden was actually a World War II fortress used by the British. British General Percival. It's his headquarters. That was his headquarters, and then after the Japanese won the World War II here in Asia, where they conquered Asia, because the British couldn't fight the Japanese because they had to fly back to Britain because Britain was constantly under attack and they were short of men and they would want to go back, and so they left us and they left it to us, and so we sort of like welcomed the Japanese and like whatever man you want to take over like yeah, sure. I mean, you can check our history, in Singapore, and like yeah, we watched them march by our roads and everything, and we look. If my granddad was killed, my granddad was a pilot. No, he was a sailor. Okay, he was a captain of a ship before World War II. Right, he would the story Titanic. He's actually a cruise captain. Yeah, he was actually a cruise captain. Yeah, and when the Japanese came, right? If he fought the Japanese, I wouldn't be here, man. He would have been slaughtered. I wouldn't be here. You get what I mean? So yeah. So back to my story of the ghost box. So yeah, in my first experience before I recorded the previous three that I uploaded earlier on, I sang an Aerosmith song. It's I sang Dream On. I sang out aloud, man, on the speakers. And the funny thing about this ghost box meter, right? I'm not actually plugging in a microphone into my computer or using any effect, but just my handphone to record my session, and I am talking aloud in my room alone as the session is, as the radio is on live. I am just baffled in a way whereby how can I be talking aloud and my speakers are replying back to me? Where are those voices coming from? You get what I mean, I am in my room not using any. I'm in my room not using any devices or anything, and voices are replying back to me like yes, no, and then maybe if I'm asking for a particular person, if he's there, something or some voice will say yes, is there, and then that voice will come in. So it seems to me like there are guardian. This is my imagination. Okay, it's up to you to believe me, and it's up to me to believe in myself. Yeah, I think there are like guardian angels or whatever, who actually takes care of these portals, and they are like the operators, like the operator, like hello operator, can I speak to Mr. Blah 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 blah, and then they would say no, he's not here, he's moved on, or oh, yes, he's here, yeah, so yeah, most of the guys that I asked was there. The first thing I asked when during my first session was Bruce Lee. So if you listen back to my first session, you actually can hear him. But at that moment, I just kept quiet. I didn't want to just like talk to him yet, So he was there. I think I heard him. Yeah, and I also didn't want to ask. I not really to talk to him yet, lah. I'm not ready to talk to him. I want to talk to Chris because Chris Cornell's voice was coming out very pretty much loud, And so yeah, let me trace back to what I've heard from my previous 3 sessions. I've heard like the word airwolf, right? Airwolf, yeah. If you remember, right, in my station, I have played this Airwolf theme on my station before because my radio station on Last FM is wacky. I keep it wacky. I like to entertain myself. Like if I want to listen to funny stuff at that moment, I'll just listen to funny stuff, make out things. I would entertain myself. If you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then just turn it off. I'm just entertaining myself and broadcasting myself. So I heard Airwolf, Airwolf Mitch, and I heard it and from Chris Cornell's voice or from some other voice or from and I'm thinking like, what if like all this while, right? Chris has been listening to my station, and I don't know lah. I don't know. I'm not. I have no evidence about that. Okay, whatever. So yeah, that's my nightmares or everything. Yeah, and so yeah, if you listen back to my first session, you would hear the name Freddie, because I did sing a Freddie Mercury song, Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, because I heard a female voice, some teenage female girl voice asking for sing a Queen tune, sing a Queen tune. This was during my first session, which I didn't record. I'm telling you right now. So I sang Bohemian Rhapsody and everything, and then when my first session, which I recorded, all those names came out. It's like it was a live progressive replies of what I did previous on, and it was getting more and more progressive and progressive and progressive to a point where it has come to that moment. So I just decided to take a break for a while, and yeah, I wanna tell you this, share my experience. And yeah, about the Krishna name thing, I'm not sure whether it's Krishna or Kushna, because right now in my life, I am actually a sound guy, not really a sound guy. I'm a crew or a roadie for my friend's band, and my friend's band name is Kushna. So that's pretty much about my life. And I have actually heard my ex-girlfriend's name, my friend's name being mentioned in that station. I just kept quiet, because I didn't want to ask. I just kept quiet. I want to see what they want to say, what they have to say. Since I didn't ask, they didn't tell. But I heard like my friend's name, my ex-girlfriend's name, and everything. And then I slept. And when I slept, oh man, like my memories of like, those heartbreaking memories, your girlfriend dumped you and everything, it all came back. Like it's like suddenly it all came back, and suddenly I could connect to Chris Cornell's life from his first wife to that album Euphoria Morning, because during my downtime, during my breakup time, like with my ex-girlfriend, I was listening to Euphoria Morning really, really a lot, and I would sit in that garden and just listen to that album and just like shuffle my feet to the beat. I know like I'm fucked up, whatever. I'm just listening to him, and he's like just singing whatever I was feeling, and it was nice. And yeah, so I had that dream and everything, and then that's about it, I guess. just old memories in the past, but it's like suddenly echoing back to me right now on that ghost box. Maybe it's trying to find a weak spot in me, or maybe it's trying to help me clear those negative memories away, or what. But I'm fine, I'm not affected by that anymore, because in fact, yeah, if you listen to my station, yeah, I have played like sad love songs and everything. Yeah. So right now I'm actually gonna record one more session. I'm gonna top it off with one more session. This is probably a new session of from the previous. This is gonna be like a new one. But I want to see whether Steve is gonna loop what I have recorded, because I'm sure he can hear what I have recorded or what I have listened, and I'm sure he himself would listen to what I said. I'm sure he recorded what everyone was listening to, and he himself would listen to it, and so sometimes there would be like a repeat what do you call it, a repeat broadcast of previous sessions, because I can tell like, I think I've heard this before. But there are times where suddenly it went like there's a particular like sound, and then it's like suddenly a new environment. I would hear voices from worldwide, or like assalamualaikum, hello, somewhere in like I don't know where, man. But yeah, okay. Let me tell you about this webpage. Okay, this is what the purpose of the project is. Okay, it says, the theory of the ghost box is to grab random audio beats supplied by a sweeping radio tuner. Once the listener gets used to the sounds of a sweeping radio, you will hear messages come through. This is written on his webpage. I'm reading out aloud to you right now. This live ghost box test is to see if each person can listen to the same audio from anywhere in the world and receive personal messages for themselves. This was an idea discussed between longtime friends Steve Hulte and the late Frank Sumption, founder of the original automated ghost box. So Frank Sumption was the original founder of this ghost box. Over several years of testing and building radios. So that's his point. Yeah. So Steve is trying to follow back Frank Sumption. Frank Sumption was some 70s guy, I think. He was the one who, the founder. He was the founder of this ghost box. So Steve followed his footsteps, and is doing what he's doing right now. He's doing it worldwide, and he changes the frequency worldwide. He's going on live, or I don't know whether he programs it in a way whereby a certain timing is being set, and then he pauses, then he turns it off, and then he keep the thing on a loop, like a video thing, like, so he gets to save some energy for his side or whatever. So I'm gonna press play right now. I'm gonna see whether this is gonna be live or it's gonna be a reloop version of previous sessions. Phil, yeah, Phil, that's my name, Phil. My name is actually Phil Trip, FEELTRIP, Phil Trip. That's my name on Wire Chat Club, and that's my nickname since 2002. I've used that nickname for my PlayStation name, for my YouTube username. It's called Field Trip. Yeah. Yeah, it's me. Excuse me. Okay, this sounds like a session I've never heard before, so I think this is live. Bruce Lee, are you there, Bruce Lee? Okay, he's not there. Somebody say he's not. I hear Sputnik. Actually, I've heard the name Sputnik, the satellite. Sputnik, Sputnik being mentioned a lot. If you listen back to my station, you would hear the name Sputnik, Sputnik a lot. Yeah. Hello, is anyone? Is any? Do you want to communicate with me? Do you want to communicate with me? Do you want to talk? Do you want me to sing? I hear Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. You know Lord Vishnu, the Indian god. Yeah. That's it. Time's up. Okay, I think this is a looped session of the last one that I did. This is a repeat broadcast of what I did, and Hulte is probably listening to it. So I'm just gonna off it. I'm not gonna listen to it tonight. Probably tomorrow or 2 days later on. So yeah. Well, speaking of the name Krishna and in fact, I have heard the name Vishnu and Krishna, right? Yeah, a lot. Actually, a few months back, I actually found two eagle feathers on my path as I was about to leave the house, right? So because I spend most of the time at home, I my job right now is as a roadie with my band Kushna. I mean not with my band. I'm helping this. I have a group of friends. We are running an event company. Like if there's a road show or if there's gigs or anything, then I would go and like set up the mics, set up the drums. I'm practically a drum tech. I would set up the drums. If the drummer is playing, I'll be standing behind the drummer. If he needs anything, or if the cymbal stand drops or anything, I'll have to rush in and like make sure everything is fine, because yeah, those gigs are rough. We have like punk bands, skin bands. There's gonna be moshing and everything. If they want water or if they want food or anything, I have to go and get it, because right now my band is on hiatus. So back to the eagle feathers. Yeah. So I found those two eagle feathers, really big white eagle feathers, man. And yep, I have seen like a few eagles flying around my window, because I live behind this mountain, behind my window. I can actually upload my picture, lah, but I don't know how to show you guys. Yeah, I can upload my picture maybe some other time. Yeah, the eagle. Yeah, I've found a feather. Maybe Vishnu, Krishna, or anything like that. He's trying to connect to me or something like that, gods or whatsoever. I'm really quite open-minded when it comes to this kind of things, because when it comes to music and dance, you have to be sort of like open-minded and fair. You can't just straight away like judge anything in a particular way. You have to like accept things for what they are. But yeah, this ghost box has been like saying the name Krishna or Kushna, which is my friend's band, and then the name Vishnu and everything. And you see, I'm a drummer myself. I play drums, and yeah, playing drums is like flying. If you ask me, if you can maneuver your movements while you're listening to the music, you are actually sitting still. The Jamiroquai song, Traveling Without Moving, you're actually sitting still, but in your psyche, in your subconsciousness, you are actually practicing the movements in your head, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's about it. Oh, yeah, wait. This morning, right? Yeah, before I recorded this, right? This morning, right? I actually dreamt of two elephants, but they were small. They were very tiny, tiny elephants. They were like baby elephants. These two baby elephants were like running around my living room. They were running around and around and around and around my living room, and I was out there and I was watching them. One was white, the other was black. It's like the yin and yang thing. It's like one is white, the other is black, and both of them had no tusk. They were babies, baby elephants. And I was just standing there looking at the tiny little baby elephants. Strangely, though, in that dream, one good thing was it did not like attack me or bite me or try to like do anything bad to me. It was just like a pet, And yeah, I was just running around, and around and around, and that was it. And I remember there was a mouse. Suddenly there was a rat in my living room, and I told my cat. My cat name is Charlie. Charlie, go get that mouse, man, that rat, man. And then Charlie just ran after the rat, So, so I told this story to my mom. My mom, my mom heard about this story, and my mom said, "Yeah, don't you know that elephants are afraid of mice. Then I'm like, oh, that took me back to like Walt Disney cartoons and everything, Then me and my mom had a laugh, Yeah, so I can conjure, or I can conquer that. I can say that this ghost box has no like negative effects on me so far. I have no nightmares, no nothing. I think it depends on your feelings when you're using it. If you are like weak inside, if you feel fear, if it detects fear in you, any evil things or whatsoever, if it detects fear in you, it knows you are scared, right? It will scare you and you will get scared. But if you come in peace, if you're not scared about anything, you are like cool, chill. There's nothing it can do to you. You get what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't be like, this is my experience. I would never feel like scared or like because I don't believe like they can scare me. I believe there's a higher power, much bigger than that, that they themselves are afraid of. If you know what I mean. So yeah, you to me it's like just talking on the ghost box, like a normal paranormal investigator you watch on TV, those documentaries and everything. Yeah, maybe a bit of drama there, like suddenly they got attacked or touched or stuff like that. But as for me, I have never felt anything touch me lah, apart from I do get occasional scratches on my bodies, but that's been happening to me since long, long, long time ago. I've had that, but I think that's my body was trying to tell me to take care of myself, especially my posture. If I sit in a particular way, if I feel like certain pain in my knees or in my legs, right? The next morning when I wake up, then I would see a scratch or something like that. I think it's trying to tell me like, hey, you should watch this part of your leg or watch this part of your body to like work it or do some exercise or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story. Yeah, I did 4 sessions. The previous one was, I think, a reloop session of the last one. So I guess I'll continue again maybe 2 days or maybe 3 days later on. Let this thing chill for a while. Okay, I'm out. Till then, peace. Enjoy. Rock on, man. Yeah. Don't be scared, right? Okay, cool.